Okay, and welcome to Cookie's Wicked Wednesday. You're watching the Strike1st gaming broadcast here on YouTube, where this week I decided to do something a little bit different. It will not be the first time I've done Mortal Kombat games, classic ones from the past, but this stream is a little bit special because I want to do a couple of the classic games leading up to the release of the Legacy Collection. During this Legacy Collection, I'm going to talk about memorabilia. I'm going to talk about the old days of Midway, what it meant to be a competitor back in arcade days, what it meant to be a consumer waiting for the release of a lot of these games for the home console like Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Black and White Game Boy, the original OG Game Boy, and also Game Gear. Yes, Game Gear releases, as well as the handheld Tiger handhelds to follow those old LCD handhelds from back in the day. I'm going to cover that. We're going to talk about the strategy guides. We're really going to talk about understanding some of the ideas that are going into the Legacy Collection and breaking that down a bit. I know that there have been other streamers that have been talking about this on a day-by-day basis, like Dynasty and Uncaged Games, and they have done a fabulous and phenomenal job touching on everything regarding information leading up and ongoing to the upcoming release of the Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection. So without further ado, I've decided to run Mortal Kombat 2 today and also Ultimate MK3 on the original collection that was for the Xbox 360 and also the PS3. Of course, I've saved all of my original PlayStation games, my Super Nintendo games, Sega Saturn, Sega CD, PC Engine. I own a lot of the original games on their original formats for the home console. Of course, this is a digital release at the time, and this collection has MK1, MK2, and Ultimate MK3. It skipped Vanilla 3 only because Vanilla 3 is actually on Midway Arcade Treasures, another game that I have over there in my library in the backdrop. So without further ado, let's get started. You know, it's Vegas, so you know I'm sweating, so please don't mind me. Let's get this started. So, let's see, I should have enough juice in my controller. Okay, cool. So, one thing I like about the PlayStation 3 release of the collection is that, of course, it came with all three OG games, Ultimate 3, 2, and 1. For me, when I first started playing Mortal Kombat, I started out with Mortal Kombat 2. It came at a time, indefinitely, where I was already playing Street Fighter 2. I'm going to let the opening a track video play through because I love this opening a track video. This is the game that actually got me into competitive gaming, specifically competitive fighting games, and still to this day is my favorite fighting game of all time, next to a handful of others. You know, Mortal Kombat 2 holds a special place in my heart, and it would be one of the greatest inspirations that would inspire me to want to become a real-life martial artist. Oh, how I begged my mom to put me into martial arts. Street Fighter 2 was a whole vibe for me, especially because of Chun-Li at the time. But when Mortal Kombat 2 came out, that's when I really was feeling it. And this game competed side by side in the arcades with Street Fighter 2, and there were extremely long lines to play 2 after part 1 was just so popular. Okay, so we're going to get started in this. Of course, Katana has always been my favorite female in the entire continuity of Mortal Kombat and still remains my number one to this very day. So we're going to go through arcade mode, including going to go and play Jade. So I'm still playing this game like I never played it before, or Let me reiterate that. I'm still playing this game like I never stopped playing it, which you know, in reality is true. So, when I first started playing this game, came late onto the scene. I played it on Super Nintendo, was my first introduction to Mortal Kombat 2. To a friend of a family member's in Hempstead, Long Island. His name was Brandon. And Brandon had a Super Nintendo, and he introduced me to Mortal Kombat 2. And at the time, I never played the game, nor have I played Part 1. I was so obsessed with Street Fighter 2. So yeah, I was obsessed with Street Fighter 2 at the time that when I saw MK2, I couldn't get enough of this game, especially since the graphics on Super Nintendo were phenomenal at the time. Boy, when I finally played this in the arcade, that's when I really got a chance to see what this game was all about. And I think it was only within a minor matter of days that I found myself... Ooh, nice shit, Jax. So within a matter of days, I'd find myself in grade school obsessed with this lady. Literally obsessed. Drawing pictures of her and doing everything I could to really embody the elements of this woman. We're talking about, I spent a lot of time spending hours drawing this lady. Spent hours drawing this lady in class, making paper, cardboard fans, and being suspended by my teacher for getting into fights, let me tell you. And literally, my fights entailed me really trying to do fan levitation in real life. So yeah, as you can see, I still play this game like it's 1993. I've never stopped playing this game. And love it to the day I die. So it took me years to figure out how the meta of this game works, because it's all basics. Like literally it's all basics. and knowing the spacing to everything. And once you master the computer, everything else is easy. But of course, it took me years and years and years of playing this game until I was able to figure out all the mistakes of the CPU and exploit the CPU on top of it. Ooh, okay, Sub-Zero. So yes, I still remember all the fatalities like it was 1993. Not only with my own character, but with a handful of the other characters, as well as knowing the secrets of the game and how to fight the hidden characters, etc., you name it. So one thing that makes me really excited about the Legacy Collection, and it's something that I noticed just by following the footage of others, is that they're making it so that you no longer have to fight to access the secrets of reaching certain characters in the Mortal Kombat game. So I'm going to get a little bit more detail with what I mean by that. So Mortal Kombat 2 had various secrets, and amongst those secrets was fighting hidden characters. Okay, so let me say that again. In Mortal Kombat 2, there were secret characters that you could fight. One was Jade, another was Smoke, and the other was Noob Saibot. And they all had different requirements on how to fight them. So with Jade, right before the question mark, you can only use the kick buttons in order to access her. And then if you defeat the opponent using only the kick buttons, then you would be able to fight her. To fight Smoke, you would have to get Dan Toasty Forden to say whoopsie in a match and press start the moment his face comes out. And then you would automatically be transported to Goro's lair, where you could fight him. To fight Noob Saibot, you had to win 50 matches in a row in order to get to him. And then from there, you would be able to fight Noob Saibot. So here we are. We're going to fight Jade today. And part of what they're promising is that you could potentially So I hit the punch button by accident. Oh, he got me. Okay. So that's not what I wanted. You got me. Okay, I may have to forego Jade this time. Yeah. Ah, he got me. I was too busy trying to get to Jade. I'll try again. I could have easily defeated him without having to lose the match, but I mistimed my kick. But let me go back to that. I'm trying to talk and play at the same time while explaining some stuff. So yeah, you have to really time the kick. Here we go. There we go. Yeah. Okay. Oh my God. Wow. Oh, so this controller is so sensitive. I was not supposed to be jumping back. But anywho, that's how you fight Jade. And no special incentives for beating her. You beat her, you move on to Shang Tsung, and that's pretty much it. One thing that I really appreciated about Mortal Kombat 2 is that if you lost to the secret characters, it didn't mess up your win score in the game. You just go back to where you left off because they were technically a secret character. Unlike Street Fighter games, you know, you lose to your secret boss character, and that's pretty much it. You got to put in a quarter and play from where you left off. Hey, with a flawless victory, no less. I used to, and still do, love the woman who played her in this game, Caitlin Zamar, who is a live-action martial artist in real life, who was selected alongside Daniel Pesina to do Johnny Cage. And both of them did a phenomenal job. Her as Katana Melina, him as Johnny Cage, as well as Raiden. So, again, I truly don't get enough of this game. Hey there, Darkstorm Queen. How you doing? Thank you, thank you. While these credits are playing, I get to actually talk about now a little bit of some backstory. I was saying, it's hard to play competitively and then talk about the game at the same time without losing focus when you're fighting a CPU-controlled character. Mortal Kombat 2 at the time was one of the most harder 2D fighting games that were in the arcade. And friends and associates alike, we spent so much time and so many quarters waiting in line to play this game. And when the game was finally released for Super Nintendo, of course, I caught on after the fact. I still caught the wave even though I caught after the fact. My first time playing Mortal Kombat 2 was actually on Super Nintendo. But then when I realized we had it at our local arcade, boy, was the graphics 10 times stronger, better, the music more sharper. Like, Super Nintendo was the best you can get at the time for a home console unless, and this is something that's not being talked about or hasn't even been mentioned yet on anybody else's stream, Mortal Kombat 2 that was released for PC. So if anybody knows, like right now, the PC iterations for Windows of Mortal Kombat's 1, 2, 3, Ultimate 3, Trilogy 4, and 4 for the PC are extremely expensive. They were like released for Windows 95, 98, and XP over over a span of time, the sign of the times when those games were released. And you can still purchase those on eBay as collective items. And what most people don't know is that Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3 and Ultimate 3 and Trilogy was like the definitive versions to play on PC if you had a gaming PC during the mid to late 90s. A Voodoo Banshee graphics card, plenty of space and RAM at the time. You can really run the PC version, and it was arcade perfect. Especially Mortal Kombat 2 was arcade perfect. Arcade perfect sound and everything. Mortal Kombat 2 was released on Sega Saturn. It was released on 32X, not Sega CD. Sega CD didn't get it. Sega CD got MK1. And those games were still not arcade perfect. And they still had sound that was very reminiscent to the low quality Genesis. So if you was going to play on the console, the best console version of the game was for Super Nintendo. I fortunately owned all the early Mortal Kombat games, not only for Super Nintendo and Genesis, I also owned them for Game Gear and for Game Boy. And let me tell you, I really enjoyed Mortal Kombat 2 on Game Boy, even though the Genesis iteration of the game had endings. And you can fight Shao Kahn on the Sega Game Gear version of Mortal Kombat 2. You can fight Shao Kahn on the Game Boy version. Didn't have enough space. Oh yeah, baby. I'm also reading the stream at the same time. Yes, they did have them for PC. If you go on eBay right now, they command high prices. And I'm going to go into a little bit of a commercial break and talk more about this before I go into Ultimate MK3, and then we're going to alternate, and I'm going to basically do it like that. Let's see here. Let's go into this commercial break real quick. and then I can talk more in depth about the PC versions of the Mortal Kombat games. Okay, so if you are a fan of Virtual Fighter and you enjoy that game and you think and believe that you can play it competitively, then there is a tournament happening in Manhattan Beach in SoCal from October 10th to the 12th, 2025. There is a gathering for all the best Virtual Fighter players, and I will be there getting my ass kicked and learning how to play that game. If you stayed in tune with the stream last week and then 2 weeks before that, I started getting back into Virtual Fighter, and this game is something that I'm starting to re-enjoy and rediscover for myself. As I had mentioned before in the past streams, I was only playing Virtual Fighter. The last time I played Virtual Fighter was 3 TB for Dreamcast, as well as 2 for Sega Saturn. And so for the big Virtual Fighter community out there that's been keeping this game alive since the first game, this Legacy game, which is very similar to Tekken and Dead or Alive, they have not skipped a beat, and the community has stayed strong and keeping their players and members well and tight-knit, and keeping this game alive, very much so. So I look forward to Virtual Fighter 6. And remember, of course, if you are a tournament competitor in this game, we are looking forward to seeing you if you can make it to this event that you see right here posted up on screen. That's going to be October 10th to the 12th. Okay, moving on. Here is a little bit of some memorabilia that I'm going to go through during this little commercial break to talk about some stuff with Midway and Mortal Kombat in the early years. So right here, this is the Mortal Kombat 2 Fighter's Companion. All of these books that I'm about to show you in these images, I currently own. I currently own all of these books. For those who know me in the fighting game community, I'm not just a competitive player. I'm a sage when it comes to martial arts gaming storylines, introspections, diving deep on a spiritual level with characters, and talking about them at events and at places, and of course at my home, which I use as a community space in my business. But getting back on topic here, Mortal Kombat 2, this is what they call the Fighter's Companion book. So back in the day, if you wasn't in the arcades trying to discover the fatalities, the babalities, the friendships, and the special moves by putting in 1,000 quarters in the machine and just putting in the hours in the work, understanding and learning how to play the game, then your next best bet was to spend $10 to go get yourself the Fighter's Companion book. When strategy guides became a thing, they helped circumvent some of the community members, such as let's see, how do I want to say this? Let me reiterate that. So if you was not purchasing the Fighter's Companion strategy guides, which was considered the definitive way to learning how to play a game back in the day before social media, before the internet, then you was purchasing from people in the hood that played the game. They were selling you the fatalities, the codes, and the secrets, and selling it to friends and classmates for $5 and $10, which for that amount of money you could have already bought the book and got everything plus more. So this was one of the definitive books back in the day for Mortal Kombat 2. And that book covered specifically the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, the Game Gear, and the Game Boy. So yes, this book covers all 4 console platforms with hundreds of screenshots. The next book was by GamePro back in the day for the original Mortal Kombat. And this was GamePro's version of their own pro strategy guide for Mortal Kombat 1 that covered Super Nintendo and Genesis. This book here I also own in my collection. This book was another definitive book by GamePro's official people, their magazine publication that produced this guide that covered the Sega Genesis, Super Nintendo, Game Gear, and Game Boy. This book was the official Mortal Kombat 3 Fighters companion book, which covered not only Sega Genesis, Super NES, PlayStation, but also PC CD-ROM. Again, nobody's talking about the PC iteration of Mortal Kombat 3. Truly the definitive way to play that game outside of either owning the arcade machine or having a PlayStation. Even the PC iteration of MK3 was better than the PlayStation version. And then here, this is I own this one. This was by Game Fans. This was their strategy guide on Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which covered everything. This one was specific to covering Mortal Kombat Trilogy, of course, for Sega Saturn and for PlayStation. Of course, Trilogy for Sega Saturn is a lot more expensive in the collectives market. On eBay, if you're looking to have a rare console version of the game. I do own that, and I'll be showcasing that in the next commercial. And of course, here's another official Mortal Kombat Trilogy Fighters Companion Strategy Guide. This one was specifically covering, I believe, the SNES and the Genesis only. For those of you who remember, Mortal Kombat 3 was also released for Game Boy and for Game Gear. And I'm just going to tell you this right now, it was completely shitty. I own, and I still currently own, the Mortal Kombat 3 Game Boy cartridge for the original black and white Game Boy of 4 AA batteries. That game is craptacular. It's not even worth buying, but to have it for the museum is worth every moment now. Of course, it's another strategy guide released specifically for Mortal Kombat Trilogy by Electronic Gaming Monthly. It's not the definitive version, but it was something released at the time. And then, of course, this is the official Fighter's Companion I believe by Brady Games for Genesis and Super Nintendo of Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 right there. Alright, and that ends our little info session. We'll get back into another info session after we get back into the game again once more. We're gonna get over to some Ultimate MK3 and get a couple of games in that in arcade mode. So again, I am playing the PlayStation 3 release of the arcade collection. For those out there who are watching and trying to figure out which version I'm playing, this is what I am playing right now. And this is a retrospect revisit to the arcade platform versions of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, and 3, as we are getting closer and closer to the release of the newest iteration of the Legacy Collection for Switch 2, Switch, PS5, PS4, and I believe Xbox. Don't quote me on the Xbox version. Now, Mortal Kombat 3 is... I'm going to let the opening a track movie play. So, Mortal Kombat 3, I have a special relationship with this game. There was a time where when the original Vanilla 3 came out, the first time I played Mortal Kombat 3 was also the first time I took a trip to Atlantic City in New Jersey. My mom and we was on a bus from Parkchester in the Bronx. We took it to Atlantic City, and of course I was excited to go and play in Aladdin's Castle, which was the arcade at the time inside of Bally's Casino. What I did not know at that time was that Mortal Kombat 3 was released, and there were long lines to play that game, and nobody cared about Mortal Kombat 2, and I was the only one playing Mortal Kombat 2 at the time. Yes. Okay, PS3 can only play PS1. Are we talking about the Vanilla 3 or the Trilogy for PS1 on a PS3? Because this arcade collection compilation only has Ultimate 3 but doesn't have Vanilla 3, and of course Trilogy is a direct-to-disc. Alright. So when I first played MK3, Katana was not there, and let me tell you, what is the new way, the new language of the day to crash out? Well, I crashed out back in 1995 when Katana was not there in Vanilla 3. But then when I found out her mother was in 3, I instantly said, okay, she's going to be my substitute. And Queen Sindel ended up being my second main to this very day. So if Katana's not in the game, chances are I'm playing with Sindel. Yes. So yes, I own the original Vanilla MK3 disc. And of course, the way the releases of the game is it's weird back in the day, licensing and the way companies went about it. I can't kill Jade. I love Jade. So the releases of the 3 series is very fractured. So for PlayStation 1, you have Vanilla 3 and you have Trilogy. But for Saturn, you get Trilogy and Ultimate 3, but you don't get Vanilla 3 for Saturn. It's dumb. Okay. There we go. Okay. There we go. I was struggling to find my block button for a minute. I found it, so we good. So, interesting enough about this game. When I get to like a higher level, I'll be able to show that there's a glitch in this game that I've been exploiting for forever and a day. Even in the arcades, it works in the arcade, and it translated over to this. Okay, I don't know how that happened, but okay. All right, Cabal. That's also another glitch. If you do a roundhouse kick at the very last second, you can kick them off the stage. Doesn't do anything to them, but it's a cute little glitch. So here's a glitch with the game that I've done. I will throw a projectile like mid-screen. And then do a jump kick, and the CPU character will automatically run into the jump kick. And then if you time it right, you can wash, rinse, repeat the same loop, and pretty much win against characters that would be considered difficult for no reason at all. Oh, good shit. Katana's special. She's special in this game. Alright, Cyrax. So here's the glitch I'm talking about. So if you time it right, you could do that. It did do a trip. Ah, he got me. Pow. Ooh, smart Cyrax. Smart Cyrax. And of course, if you time this, you can do it exactly what I just did, which is what makes this game very easy on any setting, even if you play it on the hardest setting. the loops in this game is phenomenal. Yeah. Yeah. So what I liked about Katana in this game, see, I did it too slow, but oh, I got it. Got you. So, okay, so back to my original thought. I like that she was very versatile in this game, and she was faster than she was in MK2. Though, if you miss fan levitation, it's over. Like, you're busted. Like, that game, that left her all open. Oh, really? Oh! Smart shit. Really? Really? Center. That was dumb shit right there, but I should have been able to, like, get a freebie off of that. Wow. Where was my block? Okay. I screwed up. One thing that I forget about PlayStation 3 controllers is that they're extremely sensitive, and you have to be careful in the direction that you're pressing, because you will do something that you exactly do not want to do. I did not want to jump back like that. That was a fluke. Wow, okay. Okay, I got you, Sector. There we go. I see I was mistiming my jump in, so that's my fault. That's my fault. I was mistiming my jump in. Okay, let's try my glitch. Okay, I was supposed to catch this bitch. I've always hated Sonya in this game. I can't stand this hoe. But I got you anyway, Sonya. Gotta love this glitch. This shit was the best during endurance matches. Really, Sonya? Really, Sonya? Okay. Oh my god. She got me. It's funny because I feel like I'm fighting Sonya more than I'm fighting Kano. Because my glitch works on Kano. I really gotta like... Ugh! Why is she giving me so much trouble? Ugh! Ah, I hate this bitch. I hate Sonya. Like, she's the one woman I never liked in this game. What, not an MK9? Look how I can fight Kano effortlessly. Wow. Ugh. Why can't I hit this hoe? Ugh. Oh, like you saw that? That was supposed to be the 5-hit pizza cut combo. That's be the bullshit I be hating in this game sometimes. Like, that was excellent timing because I knew exactly what to do afterwards. Wow, how that fan went right through her. Oh! Damn. And she throws me to get hit by the subway train. Oh, the combos at MK9. Okay. Sorry, I'm focused trying to, like, beat this bitch right here. The timing is a little bit different. It's funny. When you play a lot of these arcade games that are, like, direct to console that claim that they are, like, the perfect arcade iteration, there's something just a little bit off about them sometimes. Like, I can't even hit this woman. Like, thank you. It's make me wonder, like, how does her punch, like, the trajectory of her punch, like, outdoes mine. Thank you. Oh, I dropped the damn fan. There we go. I'm gonna get you, bitch. Yeah, so I'll show the guidebooks again because I during the last commercial break after I beat Mortal Kombat 2, I showed the strategy guidebooks for the ones specifically for Mortal Kombat's 1, 2, 3, Ultimate 3 and Trilogy. And I own about 90% of the strategy guides, including some hidden gems that are very hard to get. I'm going to showcase those. So yeah, after I beat Shao Kahn in this current session here, when we go into the commercial break, I'll showcase that stuff again, while also showcasing some of my own stuff. Yeah, Montaro was an asshole in the beginning many years ago. I remember when I used to fight him on Super Nintendo, how much of an asshole he was on Super Nintendo. Like, you'd be in the middle of a combo. Okay, Khan. It's like that. And he'll do a combo breaker. Oh, ooh, Khan's not playing. Hold on, y'all. He's not playing games right now. Oh, wow. Pow. Wow. The combo dropped. I dropped a combo, found myself in the corner, and got fucked up. Wow, okay. She totally missed him after he did the tiger knee. Bam, there we go. That's right, fan in the face. Okay, so while that's happening like that, I'll showcase some more stuff for the camera to see. So this is the official collector's guide to Mortal Kombat 3. I'm going to go do like that so you can see that. Oh yeah, hold on. There you go. And then, this is the official Mortal Kombat 2 Fighter's Companion. And then, this is the official Mortal Kombat 1 Fighter's Companion. So again, a lot of these strategy guides covered Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy, Game Gear. And then for MK3, because I have the book for Trilogy. Hold on here. The book for Trilogy is over here. This is the book for Trilogy. And then, at the time, because Mortal Kombat 2 was highly popular, they released a 4-part magazine, 4 separate editions. And I left mine sealed for just for museum purposes, because I didn't want to open these. These were very difficult to find, but these were the dedicated magazines. That was a 4-part issue. So this is part 1. And then this is part 2. And these, I guess, these books hold significant secrets from the creators of Ed Boon, John Tobias, Mr. Vogel, Carlos Pesina, etc., the cast members. This is the second one. So I guess the real question of the day is the secrets that were put in a lot of these strategy guides, the original publications of these books, will they reappear in the Legacy Collection? Because since the Legacy Collection is banking itself on having this hours and hours of interview footage and hours of memorabilia and showcasing the playing cards and everything else, iterations of the game, will they then show these magazines as a part of that as a part of the museum aspect of the game? This one is the 3rd book to the dedicated series of MK2. And then this is book 4. So these books came with a bunch of secrets on the inside. Like this is book 4 of 4, and this came with Mortal Kombat Animated, The Private Life of Kung Lao, the first look at Battle Wave. So for those who don't maybe not remember, there was a Mortal Kombat animated movie at one point. It really focused more on Kung Lao, the original victor of Mortal Kombat, how he defeated Shang Tsung, but he was killed by Goro. It goes into Goro's backstory about his brother Gorbak and how Goro killed him in order to become the Shao Kahn Prince, from Prince to King. Let's see, the 3rd book talks about Tobias and Boon show off the lost fighters of MK2. So that's what this is right there. One of the books talks about behind the scenes making of MK2. So there's some photographs and shots. I wonder if these same shots in this book will make it into the museum aspect of the Legacy Collection, released later in October. And then, let's see, Outworld exclusive, Meet the Real Raiden, Baraka, and Kano. So, interviews with the motion capture actors. You know, I really, really appreciate that. Because Mortal Kombat wouldn't be the game that it was without having the motion capture actors that are real-life martial artists. By the way, Daniel Pesina is a treat to meet in real life. I met him at an event in Sacramento several years back. He was helping to host a Mortal Kombat 2 tournament on Super Nintendo. I managed to get first place in both days because they had the tournament for 2 days in a row, and I won. And then he gave me 2 marquees of the MK2 cabinet, and both of them were signed by him and everybody else from the crew, which I thought was phenomenal. I'll never forget that day. Truly, truly enjoyed it. Okay, so we're going to go into this commercial break right now before we get back into another arcade session. This time we're going to raise the difficulty when we do that. But here is back to our commercial. So let's see here. So again, Strike1st Gaming, we are promoting Virtual Fighter. Virtual Fighter is everything right about now, especially since it's going to be, it is right now the most realistic 3D fighting game. The most realistic in terms of martial arts adaptation from real life to game. And Virtua Fighter 6 aims to take it a step further by adding new mechanics to the game and reinventing it to give us a real-world experience of what it is to be in a true martial arts kumite style tournament. We assume that Virtua Fighter 6 will be released for PS6, since that will be the technology possibly capable of handling that game. Now, on to this advertisement right here. If you are a Virtua Fighter enthusiast and you play the game at a competitive level, or you're just learning the game just like myself, because I haven't played the game in a long time, so I consider myself a newbie. I have no presence in the VF community. There will be a huge tournament going on October 10th to 12th at Manhattan Beach, which is very soon. It's about, what, 2 weeks away from now? Because we're soon to be in October, so mark your calendars if you feel you can make this tournament from October 10th to the 12th. This is the information here that you see for Virtua Fighter tournament, Revo, that's taking place. So this is an exciting moment. I'm going to get my ass kicked by all these high-end tournament players for this game. I'm still learning. They're going to teach me a thing or two on how to play this game properly. All right. So on to this memorabilia again. So here we have, again, real quick, the Mortal Kombat 2 Fighter's Companion. So for all of the newer generation esports players, sorry, I got lost of words right there. I want to make sure I say this right. For all of the new generational esports players, this is what we did back in the 90s. Fighting game strategy guides and fighter companion books was the definitive way to learn how to play a game and learn it well, as companies and magazine publications came together to push thousands and thousands of hours of photographs, of screenshots, and play-by-play footage of scenarios and situations and strengths and weaknesses of the characters in said fighting game. So here you have it. Mortal Kombat 2 is one of many strategy guidebooks. During the time, that was only $9. Well, technically it's $10 out, after tax, but this book now you can find on eBay, and I guarantee you it's not $10 anymore. As we're moving more and more into a digital age, physical iterations of games and physical iterations of memorabilia that reflected the sign of the times are becoming more and more expensive to collect. So if you are a collector, now is the time to start getting your hands on any of the items that you hold dear to you, because pretty soon it was going to be even more expensive to collect these items, whether it be video games, music CDs, strategy guides, posters, playing cards, whatever. If you are like me and you consider yourself a collector or a museum of sorts, and you collect on a serious level items in the sub-item divisions of said video game, then again, I urge you, now's the time to start collecting before the prices become even bigger than what they are now. So this is for Mortal Kombat 1 by GamePro. This is another Mortal Kombat 1 strategy guide at the time that's covering Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear. Yes, Game Boy and Game Gear. When the Mortal Kombat collection comes out, the Legacy Collection, I'll be talking more about these strategy guides, as well as glitches. I remember performing certain glitches at the time on Game Boy, which I don't know if anybody back in the day still plays the Game Boy iteration of Mortal Kombat 2, but I definitely had it. I have an interesting story about that, on how I begged my mom to go to Caldors, at the time, to go and purchase this game, and we made a bargain at the time. She wanted me to learn my times table, so I had to really study and do my schoolwork in order for her to go and buy the game. And she kept her word and bought the game, but then she hid the game in a closet because she thought I was going to go rumbling through the house to try to find it, to open it before I kept my end of the bargain about learning how to do multiplication. And the game got lost, and I wouldn't find the game until many years later, and by the time we found the game, it was still sealed in the packaging with the receipt to a department store that no longer existed. Okay, of course, that's a strategy guide to trilogy. That's another strategy guide for Trilogy. And there we have it right there. So we're going to get back into this game, do another session. Let's see here. Let's go back into our full screen mode. There we go. Where's my controller? All right. So my main character in this game, of course, is Katana, but this is one of the few Mortal Kombat games where I could play. I play with all the women at a high proficiency level, with the exception of, you guessed it, Sonya. So Sindel was one of my mains. We're going to take it all the way to Master 2. So one thing that was on my mind that I wanted to go back and talk about again was, since Digital Eclipse hired a third-party company to emulate... Ooh. So that's another glitch that you can do in the game. Early jump kick into that. Yeah, that's what happens when you done played the game so much, you know the meta. And you know how to outsmart the CPU. Okay. Yeah, we can't kill the daughter. We gotta leave her alive. And we'll leave her best friend alive, too. Oh, yeah, that air fireball was everything in this game, let me tell you. Okay, Reptile. We'll take you out. Yeah, Sonic Scream was everything. That was like everything. My God, you get caught. Like, just getting caught by this was everything. There we go. There's my glitch. Oh, yeah, so I know I keep missing a bar with some of the things I wanted to say, but what I wanted to talk about was, since Digital Eclipse is hiring a third-party person to do emulation to play emulated versions of Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, Ultimate 3, and other console versions. Oh. 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 Okay. Good shit, Scorpion. Okay. Oh, she got me. Oh, wow. She's not playing games right now. Oh. Ha! How I turned that around. See, I have to do that deep low kick. Love it. Love it. Oh, yeah. Oh! That was beautiful. That was beautiful. Nightwolf managed to get one in before his imminent demise. Oh, I got cut. Let's fly around. Pow. I love that she could fly. Ooh, Shiva. Ah! She caught me. No, you don't, Shang Tsung. Oh, shit. Oh, there we go. Now, this is where my glitch matters the most. Because I gotta fight 3 of these motherfuckers. There we go. Oh, shit. She caught me. Okay, I gotta be cheap now. No, you don't. Oh, shit. Uh-oh. Okay. Unfortunately, there can only be one of me. So what I like about her is that she's the only one who can hit Montaro with a projectile. The only one who can shoot him with a projectile. Alright, Shao Kahn. Pow! I knew he was gonna do some shit like that. Oh, wow, really? Oh. 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 Yep, it's over. Success. Oh, yeah. When I play with Cindella, I never lose against the arcade like that. She has too many good tools. Like, if you lose with her, it's a problem. Like, especially if you learn how to play with her well. She has other shit that I'm not doing. Like, she has some serious tournament shit that's, like, real broken. Like, she's the queen for the reason in this game. She's queen for the reason. Okay. Okay. We'll get the tournament outcome for this. Okay, so while this ending is going through and the credits, what I also wanted to talk about was if and why and when and possibly if the Legacy Collection would do the Tiger handheld versions of Mortal Kombat. So there is Tiger handheld versions of Mortal Kombat 1. No handheld versions of Mortal Kombat 2, believe it or not. I would have known that if they did, by Tiger Electronics. So Tiger Electronic games, for those who may not remember, are those LCD handhelds that took 2 to 4 AA batteries. And then along the way, Tiger invested more in their LCD handhelds and really made premium handhelds. A good example of that would be like Cardzillion. So if anyone remembers the Cardzillion version of Mortal Kombat, you can actually take these barcode cards and swipe them across the top of the LCD handheld and pick your characters based upon the cards. The same Tiger Electronic Company released the same version of that with Super Street Fighter 2. So you can have all these cards and then slide the card across the top of the handheld, and then that's how you would select your character. They only did that for Super Street Fighter 2 and for Mortal Kombat 1. Now, when Mortal Kombat 3 came out, they had so many different iterations of the handheld by Tiger Electronics. They had plenty of the Vanilla 3, Ultimate 3, and then also Trilogy. So if anybody remembers the R-Zone was Tiger Electronics' way of trying to do like their own version of Virtual Boy with cartridges. But they just never had the money to invest in becoming like, how do I say this? Tiger Electronics really wanted to be a distributor of consoles, I see, but they just didn't have the type of investment power to do it like Nintendo, Sega, Panasonic, even when they did their 3DO. So they stuck to handheld iteration versions of properties that we saw in the arcade or for Game Boy or for Game Gear. If you did not have a Game Gear, a Game Boy, a Super Nintendo, a Genesis, a 3DO, a PlayStation, PS1, then your way of having the game on the go was having a Tiger Electronic handheld. And the R-Zone was like this headband with a scouter that looked like a Dragon Ball Z scouter, which you can only see it with one eye, with a controller, and it had all these different cartridge versions of regular games that we knew for like first party console. That's the way to say it. First party consoles. And Tiger Electronics was like third party console for the person who could not afford a Game Boy or Game Gear. And playing Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat Trilogy, and Ultimate MK3 on the R-Zone was something else. Even Gamecom. Tiger released Gamecom, which was like the first. I gotta give it to them. This is history right here. Tiger Electronics Gamecom was the first handheld to reach the internet. It was a thing at the time with like Secret Cinder and Dear Diary and having like one of those Casio electronic address books that you would get from like what's the name of that, Radio Shack. That was a thing too. And when Gamecom came out and Toys R Us was big on selling that, they one of the fighting games of choice was Mortal Kombat Trilogy. So Mortal Kombat Trilogy is on Gamecom, and it was probably the best LCD version of the handheld to date. I'm surprised that Mortal Kombat Legacy hasn't talked. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection and Digital Eclipse hasn't talked about the Gamecom version of Mortal Kombat Trilogy, which had secrets no less in that handheld too. I know I said a lot right there. Let's see here. All right, we're gonna go into one more commercial here, and talk about this memorabilia. But before we do, also, here's the original Mortal Kombat soundtrack. So they came out with 2 soundtracks. So that famous Mortal Kombat, dun, 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 that was released on this. This was the original soundtrack for that. So most people think that that Mortal Kombat theme was for the 1995 movie. No, it was for the first video game, and this is the actual CD, the first press print release of that CD. That's this right here. And then they had a second CD for the first video game, which actually have character songs. Now, fighting games in America, when they create soundtracks, you hardly ever get character songs in any English production. That's usually a Japanese media thing. You know, watching an anime, buying the soundtrack to the anime, or buying the video game soundtrack to an animated fighting game, a Japanese anime fighting game, buying the soundtrack, and then buying the character song soundtrack, which is totally separate from the soundtrack of the game. Individual tailored songs for each character on a soundtrack. That's a Japanese media sort of thing. So this was very revolutionary at the time for Mortal Kombat to have specific character songs for their characters in the original Mortal Kombat 1 game. So yes, they all have songs and their names to their specific themes. Now, none of these tracks are played in the original Mortal Kombat 1 game. I just want to say that. But for collective purposes, this is the character song album. I repeat, this is the character song album. May want to look at that on eBay. Most people are not talking about this. Like what? See, so this is something I really want to truly get into doing. And I want to say thank you for everyone that's tuned into this stream. I know I'm everywhere with my information. As I'm starting to stream every Wednesday, we're definitely going to get better with this, because I'm definitely going to stick to this time, 7 p.m. to approximately 10 p.m. Approximately, just want to say that. And showcasing memorabilia to all the fighting games that people know and love. Most people talk about these fighting games, or even maybe touch on the strategy guide, and there's some great streams out there. But I think what I'm going to truly do to separate myself is we're going to really talk about these soundtracks. I'm a heavy music collector for fighting games, especially all the rare soundtracks that the Japanese release. You know, nobody talks about that stuff. And not only am I going to talk about that, I'm going to showcase it, because I literally spend the money to purchase these things that are only in Japan. So more about that in the future. Let's see here. So I'm just checking this stream here, because I want to make sure I'm engaging with people. I want to make sure I'm engaging with y'all. For anybody who's decided to say anything in the chat. Again, I thank you and everybody who has been supporting the Strike1st Gaming YouTube channel and supporting the stream, especially Wicked Wednesdays. We're going to get into one more session here. Let's see. Trying to see what's going on with my controller here. Okay, there we go. All right, so let's get some Shiva action going on right here. This woman, I feel for this woman. She gets played. She gets played in every game that she's in. Her story is just so tragic no matter what game she's in. They gave her the most that they ever did in Mortal Kombat 11. And then I noticed the NetherRealm Studios, their museum, like if they ever auction off the original Shiva, the original clay Shiva doll, I want that. I would literally buy that. I really would buy the original Shiva doll, the claymation doll from NetherRealm Studios, just to have her. And I don't think, like, 2 of those combos and you're done. Like, that combo that she does is literally 50% of your health. And if she catches you with that shit, it's over. And then she has a launch version of it, too. Oh my god, Teleport Stomp was everything. Yeah, she was unique. Having a female version. Ooh, Jade! Just the chip. Into Earthquake. Wow. Ooh. Okay, I messed up. Ooh, ooh! That combo's so beautiful when it's done. Oh. Oh, 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 Jade! Doof. Okay. Oh. Oh, oh, reptile. Reptile. Wow. Gotta love that glitch. Charles said kick to the face. I wanted to finish you off with teleport stomp. Pow. Pow. Flawless victory. Right on your head. We're gonna finish out this session with a last game of MK2. I'm gonna pick Shang Tsung and go through the arcade ladder with Shang Tsung. Yeah, speaking of Game Boy iterations, here is the Mortal Kombat 3 cartridge for Game Boy Black and White. Alright, we're going to go in for a very quick and brief commercial. Alright. So again, if you are an enthusiast of Virtual Fighter and you play this game on a competitive level and you're looking to get better and you want to test your mettle against some of the most serious people that really play this game, then please come out to the event called LAG, October 10th to the 12th, Manhattan Beach, California, in the next 2 weeks from now. October 10th to the 12th. Take a screenshot of this flyer. Be there or be square. I'll be there getting an education on how to play this game properly. All right. All right, we're going to get one more game of this in. I will be playing this game online, something fierce, when the Legacy Collection comes out. Be playing this online. I hope to see all of South America and all of Mexico, since they dominate the my mind went dead for a second thinking about the online arcade where everybody plays Fightcade. There we go. It came to me, Fightcade. The rooms for Mortal Kombat 2 and Ultimate 3 are dominated by Mexico and South America, especially for Mortal Kombat 2 and for Ultimate 3 on Fightcade. So I hope to see all of them on Fightcade and really want to see their skill without using a macro, without using any cheats, without using anything that would give them a competitive edge, just straight up skill. Alright, Shang Tsung, here we go. I know that's all bad. I picked Shang Tsung just to turn into Katana. Wow, really? I thought I could do the fatality. The Contoro fatality. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, Brayden. And there's Jade showing her face in the backdrop. That's what I'm talking about, Jade. Hiding behind the tree. Uh-oh. Oh. Really? Yep, that's a real thing. That's a real thing. Early jump punch. Oh yeah, Liu Kang, I don't like you. You're dying. Okay, Liu Kang. I'm gonna get you. Wow. Really? Oh, I'm about to die. Oh, I thought he was gonna do the fatality. Okay. Ha! Got you, Liu Kang. Gotcha. Pow! Ha! Gotcha! Ha! Gotcha! Ooh, good shit. It's over. Ha! Mm. Okay, Melina, I don't need to transform into Katana to beat you. Pow. Pow. Good shit, Kung Lao. Fuck, he got me. Okay, Kung Lao. Good stuff. Really? Okay. What the hell? Where was my trip? I was supposed to go underneath the hat. Really? All right, Scorpion. Okay. Okay, give me my Jade match. Oh, wow. Oh my god, I didn't even press punch. Ah! I got bamboozled. Oh my god, I did it right. Nothing but the punch button. Nothing but the kick button, I mean. That's why I'm like, yeah, I knew I pressed nothing but the kick button so I could fight Jade. Yes, give me my match. Give me my match to Jade. Oh shit, I almost beat the bitch. Jade was about to get hurt. Oh, he was supposed to duck. Shang Tsung, you're supposed to duck. Okay. Wow, really? Okay. right. Thank you guys for tuning into this stream. For those who stuck around to the end, I appreciate you and your patronage for supporting the Strike1st Gaming streaming channel. I'm not the only one that stream on this channel. Catch some of our other esports players when they stream throughout the week on this channel. I stream every Wednesdays from 7 p.m. to approximately 10 p.m. The last 2 weeks I've been focusing on Virtua Fighter 5 Revo, and this week we was focusing on Classic Mortal Kombat 2 and Ultimate 3 while showcasing some memorabilia and just talking about some things of the past. I'm going to go a little bit more deeper next Wednesday as we play the next set of Mortal Kombat games. We're going to focus on some of the games from the 3D era, especially some of the games that were wish lists for the new Mortal Kombat Legacy. We're getting Game Boy Advance versions of Mortal Kombat 5, Deadly Alliance, and of course, what would be more desired is to have the actual version of Mortal Kombat 5 Deadly Alliance for either the Xbox or the PlayStation 2 version of the game, along with Deception. So we're going to focus on those games next Wednesday, and we'll dive a little bit more deeper surrounding those 3D era fighting games by Midway. Again, I thank you for tuning in to the Strike1st Gaming YouTube channel, and join me next Wednesdays for Wicked Wednesdays, where I will stream from 7 p.m. to approximately within the 10 p.m. time frame.